Alaska is the perfect place to experience cold weather warfare. But it's not just about machinery that has to operate in freezing temperatures. Soldiers need to know the tricks that'll help them cheat death in temperatures well below zero. Alaska may seem like a winter wonderland, but when you're out here in the wilderness and the temperature drops and the cold winds blow, the only thing you can rely on is yourself, your training, and your gear. Frostbite and hypothermia have been silent killers of soldiers for centuries. In my training here, I learned that operational effectiveness was all about overcoming fear of the cold and being prepared. In World War II, in 1944 alone, Americans reported 46,000 cases of frostbite. In this environment, you gotta stay on your toes, or you might lose them. In the Arctic, it's more than just feeling the bitter cold. It permeates everything, all the way down to the bone.
Some people come directly from the city, never been in the field before, and once they leave, they've slept out in the cold. It's below zero, and they can say, we can do it now. And that mental attitude is what gets people through most survival situations.
The Arctic Survival Training School, nicknamed Cool School, is at EIELSON Air Force Base near Fairbanks. This is where they train their pilots and support staff to survive against all the odds. Master Sergeant Robert Blanchard is the school's superintendent.
We teach them everything from how to build shelters, signaling, how to build fires out of the different types of woods you find in the Arctic, and how to get water, catch food, things of that nature. So if they do happen to go down in a bad environment like this, they're able to survive and get rescued.
About 700 people a year brave the rigorous 5 days of survival training. It is the only center of its kind in the Department of Defense.
What you put in is what you get. You guys want to skip a few steps? Might make you a little colder tonight. So again, adhere to those principles. That's what's going to keep you warm.
Even people that have been up here for years, it just takes one mistake, and it can cost you your life or the life of someone with you.
Veteran survival expert Dave Hoffman shares some of the secrets of the Winter Warrior.
So, tell me some of the things that are really important just when you're talking about surviving in this environment.
You've got to understand the environment that you're in. You've got to know the limitations of yourself, the human body, and the equipment that you've got, as well as the training that you've got.
Let's go, let's go.
You need to have water. You know, water is the drink of life, so to speak. And without it, it leads to frostbite, hypothermia, and then food. And I list food last because you can go about 30 days without food, especially a guy like me who carried a little extra weight. I can survive for a long time without food. But without water, the elements will kill you in a heartbeat.
But drinking water isn't the only key to survival. If you're stranded in this environment, you are going to have to find a way to warm up your body. And remember, out here, warm is a relative term.
So if I'm going to build a fire out here, what's the first thing I need to do? Find a place to put it. For me, I'm going to use this spot right here, so what do I need to do? Clear it out.
Once they found a safe spot, Staff Sergeant Jason Clapper briefs the trainees about how to build and light a fire in cold, wet conditions.
Across the length of my platform. There I go. Now I'm ready to go. All that fine tinder. And these are all pretty much the same thing, just a large metal match. This is one I've just mounted into a handle. Set it right into the center of your tinder. You're gonna get that going. Once that's got a good flame, put that up over the top. And there we go.
When you are freezing, building a fire is crucial. But when you're waiting to be rescued for days, you have to be able to build a survival shelter.
before, we talked about life forms being hazardous. That includes trees. Okay, so we want to look out for any of those dead standing trees. You guys remember that 45? All right, look it out here, scanning around. Is the spot pretty good?
Yes. Sure.
It is? All right, you guys all fail. Look straight up. What's that giant thing sitting in the tree? A tree branch, right? Or we call it a widowmaker. You never know when that thing's gonna slip out and fall down.
What we have here, Mac, is the starts of a thermal shelter. And basically what it does is it works off of the heat of the earth. Okay, you want to build a structural frame out of, you know, whatever trees you have available. You want to cover it with some kind of an impervious material, you know, plastic bags, plastic sheet. If you had jumped in, you know, you have a parachute just to keep the snow from falling through, makes it a little bit more efficient, okay? Then you want to cover it with about 6 to 8 inches of snow. That snow will compact together and melt together almost like concrete and will build a solid wall. Now, even at like 30 and 40, 50 below zero, the thermal shelter is probably your best bet for long-term survival.
As darkness closes in and the trainees prepare for another night of braving the cold, they have a moment to reflect on what they've learned so far in the last few days.
Preparation, key to success. If you're prepared and you know what's going on and you have the tools and the resources, everything will be just fine.
But for soldiers in the field, it's not just about surviving in this brutal climate. It's about thriving.